So I'm super excited to introduce Jessica Korda, our LPGA golfer, and Keith Clark interviewing her. With that, I will let Jessica and Keith take it away. Thank you so much, everyone.
Great, thanks, Michelle. Good morning, everyone. It's my pleasure to introduce Jessica Korda. Jessica's been on the LPGA Tour for 10 years now, accumulating 6 career victories and 41 top 10 finishes, on her way to earning more than $6 million in winnings. The oldest of 3 children of a remarkably athletic family, both of Jessica's parents were professional tennis players. Her younger sister Nellie is also a star in the LPGA Tour, and their brother is a rising star in the men's professional tennis tour as well. A truly talented family. Mutual of Omaha has been fortunate to have Jessica as a brand ambassador for the last 5 years. So Jessica, thank you for joining us today. And why don't we just get started?
Thanks for having me. Good morning, everyone.
You know, Jessica, we've got a lot of parents in the audience, and you started playing very young, and your parents came from an athletic family. Can you just tell us a little bit about how your parents guided you, and if you got any tips as parents think about guiding their children through sport?
Honestly, we were just thrown into a bunch of different sports. I think we were such high energy kids. So my mom and dad were just like out of the house, out of the house, out of the house. So, you know, we did just about literally every sport that we could possibly think of. And they just wanted us to have fun and just throw ourselves into, you know, whatever it was. It was great for our energy release, and you know, for me, obviously now for finding a career path in a sport. But for them, the most important thing was always to have fun, enjoy what we do, and put all of our efforts into it. So I think if you have a child and they want to start in a sport, the number one thing is to find a really good coach that keeps it fun, but also has that structure. Whether it's a structured practice or, you know, whatever it might be for whichever sport they choose, but definitely fun is like number one.
Keeping it fun, I think we can use that in financial services too.
Yeah.
Speaking of financial services, you've been in, along with golf, you started with Franklin Templeton and now with Mutual of Omaha. How do you go in and approach those client interactions? You do clinics, you do things like this. Typically, I would assume a much older and male crowd. So how have you kind of adjusted your approach over the years?
I mean, I grew up around guys, boys, whatever. I was, you know, one of like 5 girls in an academy. So for me, I didn't know a lot about women's sports, especially women's golf, until I kind of started playing more US Opens when I was 15. So I really had to learn. We've been seeing an influx of women starting to pick up the game of golf, which has been awesome because, you know, they've been showing up to clinics and asking great questions. And obviously the dynamics are slightly different. But it's just like with anything, I feel like, you know, you got to read the crowd, read the energy. And I'm really good at picking up on that kind of stuff. I don't know if it's just because I've been around a lot of people, especially around golf. It's always been an older, just an older male kind of I play golf with. So it's just something that I've grown up with, and I'm really good at kind of reading the room. I know jokes are always welcome. You know, they never want to see you outdrive them, but I guess, you know, sometimes the ego will take a little hit for them.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, on the course and in the professional world, we have lots of ups and downs. And I wonder if you have a secret for bouncing back after a bad hole or a bad round. How are you managing all those highs and lows?
A lot of it is experience, you know, putting a lot of things into perspective. At the end of the day, it's just golf. It's a game, and that's how it should be played. And I always do get wrapped up in it. Obviously, I want to, you know, I'm a type A person. I'm a perfectionist, and I if it's not done perfectly, I kind of just don't like the way that it's done. So when it comes to golf, it's been something I've had to learn over the years that, you know, there's we play very slowly, but there's like 5 hours plus that, you know, you can make up for the mistake. And once the ball's left the club, there's nothing I can do about it. It's the next shot that I need to concentrate on. And I think, you know, it's a great lesson for life as well, because it's always the next thing that's going to come up, right? So everything's got kind of a ripple effect. And if I continuously dwell on something that I've done in the past, I'm not concentrating on that next ripple. And therefore I, you know, miss the next thing and miss the next thing. So then it compiles into this massive mistake that just ruins your entire day. So instead of dwelling on the bad hole or on the past, I like to just look forward and try to figure out what I need to do to either get out of the hole or, you know, just continue on with life, because it's not going to change the price of bread if I make a bogey, is what my dad always says.
That's great. That's great. And you know, the tour is a grind, all the travel, the things that you do. You know, how is the best way for you to recharge when you're away from the course?
I just love spending time with my family. I think one of the things that COVID's really taught me is that I haven't enjoyed like the little things in life. And you know, that's one of the positives I think I will take out of this whole experience in the last year, is really like the family time, going and enjoying concerts and not always pushing it off to the side because I'm too busy. I think just like the slowing down aspect is something that I now look forward to when I come home, and taking time for myself instead of just diving into the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. So that's one way that I'm now going to learn to slow down.
Well, I mean, I think that's great for everyone, learning that work-life balance, and you know, I think the folks that are always working from home, it's hard to make that separation. So keeping all that in perspective is, I think, really a good advice. And when you're away from the course, what are some of the other things that you're really getting into outside of golf?
I read a lot of great books. Again, during COVID. I love spending time with my mini golden doodle Charlie, my family, obviously, and then, you know, we've been going on really long walks. I love going to the beach. We're only like 10 minutes away from the beach. So I just like to just get away from golf and be quote unquote normal, whatever normal is. Because the travel, it gets to be a lot, just living out of a suitcase for a month at a time. And it's just nice to like go into your closet and have, you know, all these clothes that I can choose from instead of like the set 5 that I have. Put on jeans, not just sweatpants anymore. So it's kind of just like, I really do appreciate a lot of the little things, and that's what I love about being at home and just kind of disconnecting from everything.
Mm-hmm. But you're also doing some different things for after golf, getting into some different investments and different interests. Maybe you can tell us a couple of those.
So being 28, you know, I don't know how long I'm going to play for. This is my 11th year on tour, 10 full years on tour. I'm not just looking at things to invest in the market anymore. I started to dabble in the real estate market, getting some rental properties and trying to see what that's like. We redid a townhouse that we ended up renting out, literally completely gutted it. Obviously, we've had issues. Never fun when your tenant calls you and tells you there's a leak. But it's taught me kind of just like a little bit, I guess, different things in life, not just being an athlete, also kind of in that like regular business side of things, of organizing that. And that's just been really fun to not only watch like the real estate market, but to invest into something that I kind of have like instant gratification from, because we do have a tenant, which we're very lucky to, and you know, the monthly payments come in, but then also the responsibilities of owning another property and kind of just like running that. So it's been really fun, great learning experience, and I'm definitely wanting to do another property.
Oh, that's great. Now, who are some of the women that you admire in golf and outside of golf, and give a little why?
So in golf, I mean, I literally am inspired by every single person on our tour. You know, every single woman on that is currently playing and that has played comes from different backgrounds, different stories, different countries, and different paths into the tour. And I think that's what's really special about having just such diversity on our tour is anyone looking to find inspiration will find someone that they can relate to on our tour. And I think that that's really cool because that'll always inspire the next generation. Outside of the tour, I am extremely inspired by Lindsey Vonn because she always picks herself up after an injury and works her butt off to get herself back on top of the mountain and be able to ski. Coming from someone that has been injured a lot, one of the hardest things is to pick yourself back up and do it all over again, not knowing if you're going to be back in this position. You know, you don't know when you're going to be back injured again or back in the position, having to just have the strength to dust yourself off, pick yourself back up, and work your butt off in the gym, work your butt off on the slopes to chase this dream that you have, like the passion that you have for a sport. So for me, she has definitely been someone that I've really been inspired by.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to be learned there for setbacks and using those to grow and come back even stronger. So I want to take some questions from the audience now. Do we have any questions coming in the chat?
Nothing yet in the chat. Feel free to add some questions. If anyone is wanting to ask Jessica a question, we'll be happy to pass it along to her.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, my first question, then I'll get it started. It's Masters Week. You know, I know we're all rooting for Henrik Stenson. He's a fellow Mutual of Omaha brand ambassador. He's at 1 under par after 8 holes, so he's doing well. But other than Henrik, who's your favorite for the Masters this week?
So I've heard from my friends that it's playing really firm and fast. So I like a high ball hitter. So I really like Justin Thomas. He hits it quite high. And he has a really good grasp of how to, like, the way that he kind of works around the golf course is really interesting, and he like can control certain spins. And I think that that's really going to be valuable out there. Patrick Cantlay has played really well in the years past as well. I know that I'm talking about like all the young guns / all of my friends, but I really think that one of them might actually do it. My dark horse is always Lee Westwood because I really want him to win one.
So in your typical weekend rounds, are you playing with some of the guys you mentioned at home?
I think less playing, more like hanging out. JT and I've gone out to practice a little bit. I've played and practiced with Pat a good amount. I'll play with them here and there. But when we're home, we kind of just, again, kind of want to be normal for a little bit and not play golf all the time. It's nice to just slow down for a couple of days and chill. Do dinner. Have our dogs.
Jessica, we do have a couple more questions coming in from the audience, so I'll read them off for you. The first one is, what advice do you have for someone who is new to golf? Someone just started lessons 3 months ago after being excluded from golf meetings, and I think for a lot of the women on this call, that's frequent. Sometimes we get excluded from golf meetings, and so we're trying to find ways to get involved. So any advice for new golfers?
Honestly, my favorite thing for like, and this is my retirement plan, so that's why I'm starting to like talk about it, is 9 and wine. So go play 9 holes with a bunch of girlfriends, have some wine, have a great time, and that's what it's all about, right? So it's kind of like, it's just a different way of doing social hour. Now you're outside in a cute outfit that you know, you're comfortable in, and then having that fun time with your girlfriends. There has been a huge spike in women and, you know, little girls picking up the game of golf. So Don't feel like it always needs to be kind of your dad taking, or the dad taking the daughter or son out to the golf course. My mom was actually the one that took me out to the golf course, which not a lot of people know. But those are the kinds of things that I would do if I was excluded from a round of golf. With the guys, I would try to get a couple girls and just do your own thing, because at the end of the day, you don't need to wait for an invite from somebody else.
I love that. I think Keith, maybe you can do some branding on that 9 and wine.
Yeah, done. I've already trademarked it while we were having this conversation.
Good.
I love 9 and wine.
Another person is curious, do you read or do you use Audible? What are you currently reading or listening to?
I'm attempting to get into Audible. I love physical books. Like, I love a book. My favorite thing as a kid was to always go to the library. I just love the smell of books. Yeah, I mean, when I used to travel with like 6 books. It was pretty bad. I now try to keep it to 1, and I have an Audible. I tried to read Pride and Prejudice on Audible because I've read it a million times. And I don't know, it's just weird, but I'm trying.
We have another one, and it's, who is your master's pick?
So, like I said, probably Justin Thomas or Patrick Cantlay. Can I have more than one? I can't do this. Everyone's like, give me one pick. I go, I can't do one. I can give you 10. You pick.
Fantastic. Keith, what other questions do you have?
Well, Jessica clued me in that she's going to be playing Augusta here in May. So I wondered what holes that she's really looking forward to attacking.
I don't know. I was out there a couple of years ago. I did an outing during the Masters week, and I got to walk the grounds. First off, the greens are really small. Like, TV makes them look massive. 10's really undulated. It's literally you're hitting down like a massive slope. I walked up 10 like twice and was not happy about it. It was super hilly. I don't know. I'm just so excited. Like, that first tee shot, like, let's just talk about the first tee shot. I want to know where I'm going to land it. Like, I need to know all the details. I'm probably going to be calling the guys being like, hi, can I have your yardage book? But I'm so excited. This has like literally been a huge dream of mine. And just to be able to play there is incredible. So I'm going to be soaking in every single hole. And I kind of want to hit the 18th tee shot from the back, because I tell everyone, I'm like, it's not as narrow as it looks on TV. Like, when I was there live. So now that I'm going to be on that tee box, I really want to know how narrow it's going to feel when I'm standing over this ball and looking out, being like, okay, maybe I was wrong, or maybe I was right.
Yeah, that's man, I can't wait to hear about that round, because I've walked it as well, and it's a pretty special place.
Yeah.
I wonder if you could share maybe one of your most, I don't know, fun or embarrassing moments on tour. Any good stories from the tour that people might not know about?
I have a lot of embarrassing ones. But I think one of my favorite embarrassing ones was when I was playing with my sister at the Dow. It's a team event up in Michigan that we play. We got to the 18th hole, which is a par 3, which I'm already nervous about because it's over the water. I think it was like alternate shots. So basically I was just hitting because Nelly decided that that's not the hole she wanted to tee off on. So I'm like not really looking, and I know where the tee markers are. They've been there all week, and I just placed the ball down, and Nelly's like, Jess. And I was like, okay. So I thought I just put it too far forward, so I moved my ball back. And she's like, no, Jess, like, look up. And I was like, oh. I wasn't anywhere near the tee markers. They were like on the complete other side of where I was. I just saw the one in my peripheral and assumed that it was there. It was on camera in front of people, and my sister was like dying laughing, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so embarrassing.
So if you had
top 5.
given the choice, would you like the Solheim Cup kind of format or a match play format versus stroke play? Do you have a favorite?
I think as a junior, I really liked match play. I think more as a professional, I don't like to have, yeah, in Solheim or in any type of match play event, there's always someone that hits a hero shot or something that happens that normally doesn't happen in stroke play. So I don't like to go into that not knowing exactly what I'm getting myself into. So now I definitely prefer stroke play, but in terms of like Solheim Cup, it's so much fun. You know, the crowd is what kind of makes that event. The people, you know, standing on the driving range, you can hear the ground shaking because people on the first tee box are dancing and singing, and just the energy running through you and running through the whole place. It's just indescribable unless you're there. So I love it in that aspect because the last thing I want, you know, is to be making like 2-footers for par. So it's kind of just a little bit more high stress. But it's such a fun event. So I think I prefer match play when there's like massive crowds and like that kind of energy. That you can like really let it out. You know, you got the huge like fist pumps, the roars, and that's what makes that really fun. Whereas like stroke play, I think is just a bit more serious.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's great. Michelle, any other questions coming in?
Yeah, we have a couple. Jessica, if you had not become an athlete, what career would you have been your second choice? Maybe real estate or something completely different?
I think my part 2 might be real estate. I think when I was younger, I loved to do anything in sports. So whether it was like marketing or, you know, being an agent or whatever it might have to do. I mean, I love sitting in all of my marketing and design meetings at Adidas. I think it's so fun to be on like the creative side of things. And I really, really do enjoy all of that. So I think that I would have probably just I would have gone to college, 1. 2, I probably would have done something in marketing for sure, in sports marketing.
Awesome. Another question about if there was a pivotal moment in your golf career when you realized you could achieve your dream of making it to the LPGA Tour. And then along with that, if there's any visualization techniques that you use that are helpful for you.
Okay, so first part, I started playing in US Women's Opens when I was 15. And that's when I realized that this is what I wanted to do. When did I realize that it was something that I could do? Probably when I got on tour, because I was so stressed going through the qualifying process because I wanted it so bad. Every year, like every day, I was working towards making it to the US Women's Open. Like as soon as it was done, that was my next thought. I didn't really concentrate a lot on like the other things. In my mind, that was the biggest event that I could play in. I had to play it, or like at that age I would die, because you know that's just how I was thinking. I just had to do it. First year on tour was really tough, but I was so happy to be there. Such a great learning experience. I was so young. I wouldn't really recommend anyone else doing it. I would recommend them kind of just staying maybe a little bit longer, finish high school at home, not online like I did. But it was great. And then the second part of that, I meditate a lot. So whether it's visualizing, setting my intentions for the day, you know, I've been struggling with anxiety post jaw surgery. So meditating and just being like at peace and in harmony, I think is like the one thing that I really do concentrate on. So I like to take the time for myself and make sure that my breathing is right. I think breathing is one thing that people forget how important it actually is. And then just setting good intentions for the day. And then I'll even do it sometimes on the golf course where I'll like walk off to the side, close my eyes, put my hand to my chest and just concentrate on some breathing techniques.
I was doing that this morning.
It's such a good practice. It really is.
We have another question asking what your favorite practice tip would be.
It depends on your level. I always say that fundamentals are so important. So having a coach, I mean, again, if you just are playing for fun, then just go on the range, hit a bunch of balls, just make sure that you know where you're aiming. So like having an alignment stick down is really important, because where your body's going means where the ball's going to go. And that's kind of like the most important thing about golf. You want to know where that ball's going to go. When you get on the putting green, maybe work on your speed, see how fast that ball's going past the hole every day. Or if you change golf courses, it's important, you know, that the greens aren't the same speed every day or every week or every golf course. So going on the putting green and just watching how that ball's kind of rolling by the hole, and you know, trying to have it like a foot past. That's usually a good speed. And those are just like very simple practices. If you have kids, making them chip into a bucket and giving, you know, up and down for a quarter. I don't know what that'll buy you these days, but back then, when I was a kid, it was great. Whatever it might be, you know, as a kid, you like the competition, you know, chip 5 into a hula hoop, whatever. Honestly, there's so many different things that you can do with kids. But as an adult, I think, you know, your fundamentals, your grip, your posture, your alignment, those are all super important to be able to kind of hit it straight.
Great tips. I know Jessica has to wrap it up here in a few minutes. I'm thinking maybe we turn around your idea of 9 and wine and do wine and 9. I feel like I might be better at that.
Well, I mean, you would take it with you.
Oh yeah, okay, all right, I like it.
Like it's like one thing. It's not like a comma.
I think that marketing thing is going to pay off for you if you decide to go that direction. Keith, any last minute questions you had for Jessica?
No, I think we've covered a lot of great ground here, and I just want to thank Jessica for joining us today and giving us a little insight into the LPGA Tour. And we're really, you know, I love following the LPGA and watching how Jessica's doing, and I hope all of you will do that as well. We've got a good season ahead of us, and hopefully we'll be able to get out more in person at the end of the year here and be able to watch these women play, because it's really remarkable to watch them play and see everything they can do. They're just amazing. So thank you, Jessica, and really appreciate the time today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you, Jessica.
Bye. Thank you.